Has certainly earned his ticket to the finals, knocking off Wallach, and now the top seed, Ogasanya. As we turn to 184, Reece Heller of Pitt. He is healthy after some late season injuries. Heller 18-3 this year, the top seed. And the defending champ is the 4 seed from Virginia Tech and TJ Stewart. Take a look at the bracket at 184. Dylan Fishback, the 2 seed, North Carolina State. He will take on the veteran Gavin Kane. Fishback and Kane, Heller and Stewart, the semifinals at 184. They just wrapped up in the other semifinal at 174, and Luca Augustine of Pitt. I believe that went sudden victory, didn't it?
Yeah, sudden victory. Augustine got a takedown in overtime over Lorenzo Norman.
TJ Stewart coming off that incredible championship run that he enjoyed last year. Hasn't been all roses, though, during the course of the regular season for Stewart. That 500 record. ACC champ and freshman of the year, ready to go toe-to-toe with the top seed, Reece Heller.
You mentioned it. Don't be fooled by the 10-10 record. TJ Stewart's one of the best wrestlers in the country. He proved that last year, being an All-American at 184. And when he's in his slot, he's really hard to score on. He's got great wrestling IQ. He can control the mat position really well. He can scramble really well, and he's one of the most explosive wrestlers in the country. He's got an unbelievable lat drop that we've seen a couple of times this year, and you see this power here from his underhook stepping in. There's a little bit of clash of style here with Heller, really good at scrambling and using his hips.
Yeah, Heller has body parts bend certain ways that most humans cannot have. He is just a master of the scramble, and he showcases it right there.
Well, you saw it. TJ Stewart's in a great position to finish, and Heller uses his hips to bump back and creates a scramble. Unconventional wrestling, but you're seeing it become really common. His brother Holden and him were really good at this, and it paid off for him, getting an opportunity to get to the leg, using his other leg to trip to finish.
3-0 lead for Reece Heller, who had a special moment earlier this year, returning to the Midwest. He is an Illinois native, grew up in River Woods, Illinois, and he went back and he felt right at home, winning the Midlands Championship. It was the second Midlands title of his career. Stewart taking a little extra time getting back into the center, maybe cramping issue, you hope?
Yeah, I saw he looked like he was trying to stretch out a little bit. I didn't see anything on the takedown. Kind of see how it impacts him. It looks like he'll be all right. And these guys are so tough, man. They're going to wrestle through anything, you know. And when you're out there, you sometimes don't even feel how much pain you're in until after the match. You're like, wow, how did I wrestle through that?
That next day, right? The next day, always a killer.
Yeah, that next Monday when you're sitting in class, you're like, man, I don't even remember what happened to my knee.
As long as you remember what the professor told you in class, right? That's
right.
The important part there. 3-1, Heller on top of TJ Stewart. Great action in the semifinal round. Hope you're enjoying it here on the ACC Network Extra. This place still buzzing from the show that Ogasanya and Singleton put on a few moments ago.
Yeah, crowd atmosphere really good here at Cameron Indoor. You got a lot of UNC fans pummeling in. Obviously, with NC State, they travel well, and that was just a big matchup. Watch out for this lateral drop here by Stewart, baby. He doesn't have the underhook in. If I'm Stewart, I'm trying to get back to those underhooks. He got a solid underhook on his left side and got to an attack pretty easily. I want to see him force that position maybe a little bit, use his strength and his size to get into some leg attacks.
We talked about Luca Augustine winning for Pitt a few moments ago, and you start to get to these upper weights, and this is where Pitt is really good. I mean, this is where they have made a lot of noise throughout the course of the year. Max Stout, who I quite frankly, think doesn't get enough attention for the year that he has had. We're going to see him a little bit later on at 97. And then the big question, can Pitzer rediscover his form? But here's the part of the lineup where Pitt is going to try to make up some ground and get back up among the top teams.
Yeah, this is really where they make a lot of their money, and Heller's been a big part of that, really inserting himself in the lineup and in the country at 184. I mean, he's someone that is not fun to wrestle, put it that way. I wrestled him twice when I was in college at 184. It's not a fun experience because you're constantly, fatigued by the thought of him, rolling or getting a scramble. It's like you have to be very disciplined. And when he gets out to elite, it makes it even harder because now you have to start pursuing even more.
So how do you prepare for the funk that he throws at you?
Well, I think you have to stay basic. And for me, I like to get to underhook because I felt like I could, minimize that risk as much as I could. If I could use my underhook like Stewart did in the first period, I could get to the body a little bit easier without getting to a single, with allowing him to kind of put his joints in positions that I could wrestle in. So I think staying in your wheelhouse, but also staying basic and being really disciplined, especially when you're on top. His ability to create scrambles from bottom is really hard to deal with. If you're trying to chop and trying to tilt, he'll roll every time. So really trying to stay basic on top and neutral, it's a hard thing to do for 7 minutes.
Heller with a 3-point lead, two-time NCAA qualifier, back-to-back years. Started his career at Hofstra, spent 3 years with the Pride before arriving at Pitt. Amazing part about it was his growth and improvement. He didn't compete a lot in his early years, both 21 and 22, saw limited action in the COVID season, then he redshirted in 22. A man that started wrestling at the age of 8, stall call on Heller. Stewart trying to come in with a shot of his own. Both wrestlers on their knees. And out of bounds they go. 27 seconds remaining in this second period.
Yeah, there's a lot on the line in this match. You look at this weight, you see 4 really, really good guys, and there's only 3 allocated spots. So to put yourself in the finals and to auto-qualify that spot is a big deal at this weight. Stewart being the one on that side that didn't allocate a spot, so maybe even bigger moment for him, to punch yourself into the finals and not have to worry about winning 3rd place. It's just with the allocated spots and the qualifications, it starts to become, the stakes get a little bit higher.
Second period winds down, comes to a close. Not much of a change. Heller still leading by 3. Stewart to start underneath. We move into the 3rd period. The ACC champ, returning All-American, down 3 for the final 2 minutes.
Heller's also really good on top, and he's got 30 seconds of riding time now. If he can find a way to get an extra 30, he does have a stall call, though, which makes it hard to drop down, as Stewart did a good job getting to his feet and sealing off. There's different paths to victory here for Stewart. He can get a takedown, or if he can get 2 stall calls as he's in on the leg. Great shot. You see some in this funk ability. Those knees, he's able to limp knee out really well. There's a nice slide by. He's in on an ankle. Stewart kicks out. Great action by both wrestlers. Right now, you got Heller, who's trying to put this match away, maybe on a Stewart shot. Stewart really trying to bring yourself back into this push-the action. There's that underhook I'm talking about. If he can throw that by, there's a shot. Heller doing a good job getting off the edge. See that missed slide by, just misses that ankle. We're talking about wrestling being a game of inches. It sometimes is that close, where you're so close to grabbing the ankle.
Forehead to forehead, the 2 wrestlers in the center as we hit 60 seconds to go in this 3rd period.
The thing here, if you're Heller, you want to try to stay in the center a little bit, or try to pepper off some short shots to make the ref know that you're still engaged. Don't just back up. There's a little bit of a shot, get some action. That's better for him. Stewart in on that underhook. That's what I'm talking about.
The balance and the poise under duress from Reece Heller.
Now, if you're Heller, stay back in the center. Make Stewart come to you at 30 seconds here. You're in territory where you can take 2 stall calls and still win.
This is a position that will eat some of the clock if you're Reece Heller. Stewart gets that head out of there. Heller recircles back into the center. 18 seconds, long range shot by the ACC champ Stewart. Now Heller comes in with a shot of his own.
Good shot to keep the ref off him. He can stay here. You just got to be ready for Stewart to go lat drop. He's good upper body. He's going to try something. Heller gets off of it.
Keep an eye on Pitt. Keith Gavin and the Panthers. They get a win from Augustine, and now the top seed, Reece Heller, takes down the ACC champ from a year ago and TJ Stewart. Heller, a 4-2 win for Pitt, and he is into the finals later tonight. When we come back, 197 in heavyweight. It's a semifinal round from Durham here at the 2020